hand first. So I want to give a shout out. Milwaukee gave me some freebie stuff, and I'm going to incorporate it. So pay attention because I'm going to ask questions, and if you interact, and I think you're worthy of, maybe I'll get some cool Milwaukee stuff. Right?
Thanks for all being here. This is how we all learn and grow and get better. So thanks for coming.
And at the end, we have a Q&A. If you know something that's cool about AI that maybe we didn't talk about, please say. We're here to learn too, right? I just wanted to bring acknowledgement to it and get the wheels turning if you haven't been used to it, and show you how we've been using it to help us, and kind of go from there. So kick things off. One of the things that it's really important to understand about this, and like I think I saw David here. David Sotomayor, I see him anywhere. I don't know. He was over here. Anyways, the reason I bring up David is an awesome deck designer. Right? He's an artist. He thinks through everything, and some of the stuff that David's done is just mind blowing. He's borderline genius at what he's doing, and that's a craft. And we all have this craft of the artistry that we put into our work, the design process, and things. And AI is not really taking that over. So I don't think it's something you should be afraid. At least yet, I don't know. Let's talk next year. But as of right now, it's not a threat to your craft or anything. But what it does help is it helps you focus more on the important things on your craft. So you have more time to do cooler things. So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to make sure people knew. And we're going to go over those real world situations where I use it as something to show customers to like what a deck design looks like when I take a picture of the back of the house and then I tell AI or I use ChatGPT. By the way, this is all based off ChatGPT, and I pay $20 a month for the upgraded service. It's a no-brainer. If they charge 40, I probably pay 40, but thank God they don't. But there is a free version, and if you're not familiar with it all, start off with the free version of it. Download the app, or if you're on your computer, it's just ChatGPT. There's a handful of other ones, and I'm sure somebody in here has probably used something else, and that's awesome. But this one here is just for ChatGPT and how I use it. So that traditional method, right? Let's say a customer, you go out, you're designing this deck, and they're giving you all these ideas. You and them are going back and forth. You're talking, and you go back to your office and you go ahead and start drawing this deck out so you can present it to the client. You did all this work, took hours. You put a lot of, you did a good job drawing it. You're passionate about what you did. You're excited to show the customer, and you get there and they love it. But they say, "Hey, what would the steps look like if we move them to the other side? What's it look like if we have different railing? What if we clip the corners? Blah blah blah." Right? Then you're like, "Oh, now I got to go back and redraw all this." That's kind of the old process on how you do it. This is where I feel that AI is one of the most beneficial things as deck builders for us when we're trying to get that process started and not waste all this time drawing things. So Mike made this render. I'm gonna have Mike talk about this one. Actually, I'm gonna jump ahead a few real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna jump ahead a few here real quick. I apologize. So this is where I wanted to get to. I'm not a PowerPoint guy, so just don't laugh, all right? All right, I tried to do a good job, and this is where we're at. So, anyway, so this is where I'm at right here. I actually used AI to create this image, right? The deck looks stupid. You can see AI is not perfect. Okay, this is not something that you can just submit as like this is a finished product. You're gonna have to be very descriptive when you're talking to it, when you're telling it to do things. The more information you give the AI, the better results you're going to get. It's kind of that Jerry Maguire kind of thing where it's help me help you. That's basically AI's like help me help you, right? So the more information you give it, the better off you're going to be. So this photo that we have up here is kind of how I like to do things. I'm in the back of the house. Either it has a deck, don't have a deck. I snap a photo. I go to ChatGPT. I upload the photo, and I tell the photo what I want it to have. So a real life version of this is right here. This is a job site. We stayed in the side and we took a picture. The dog was in the picture. I guess it wanted the model, but the dog's in there. But it's kind of cool because you're gonna see images and AI keeps putting the stupid dog back in there. So there's the picture standing in the side. Customer, this customer, which actually my sales guy Ken's right here. She just signed today, right? literally, she bought this deck based off the images that I'm about to show you of. Which one did she go with, the white rail or the black? The white rail. So the next picture, I mean, she told him today, and we're in Vegas. He sold this deck just using the AI thing. So I think that's really cool. But she wanted to see white rail using TimberTech's, what was it? Just gray decking, timber gray decking. So talking to AI, you go on there. I put the photo on the house in the app, as you can see. I told it put AZ Carver timber gray on the deck floor. She wanted it to be the same color everywhere. So deck floor, fascia, post wraps, everything. Told it to put it in there. I wanted the rails to be white with the black aluminum balusters, which is kind of like my signature look. So we make those rails in house. So I want to make sure that the customers are seeing that, because that's kind of the one I want to push anyway. And then I just told it it's 16 foot across, it's 12 foot deep, it's 106 inches high, it's going to have 1 inch drop, which really didn't matter, but I was just trying to be very descriptive. Because once again, the more descriptive you are, the better results you're going to get. And sometimes the result that you get back is not going to be the one that you want. You might have to ask it a couple different ways and reword it or add more detail until you get there. But just off this one right here, and I just screenshotted this, this is the result that I get for this customer now, right? So before, she has this old deck, and she has all these questions. And Ken, did she not have a million questions? So she's a lady that needed the visual, and she couldn't get it. And instead of lugging all these samples and practically almost building it just to show her what it looks like, or spending all this money on hiring someone to do a 3D design for you, this was a 5-minute process. Take the picture, tell it what you want to do, and in 5 minutes or so, this is my result. I got white rails like she wanted. She's got gray decking, her poster wrapped. I mean, it even put the dog back in there, right? So this is literally what she's looking at, and this was a done deal for her after she asked a million questions. But ultimately, we got the job based off of this product right here, and we were able to price it quicker. We don't have to wait around for a design to come up. Ken, like I keep referring to him, he's my sales guy. He doesn't have the technology with him. He has to call me to put it on my CAD program. Now he can just do this. I can continue doing what I'm doing, and I don't have to stop and help design something for him to show a client. It's just a very good sales tool for yourself, or even for a homeowner to do themselves and send it to you. Hey, can you price this out situation? Something else that's cool is we wanted to show her what black railing looked like. So I told AI, let's make it a black, make it black with a black pergola, because maybe I want to upsell her now on a pergola. So that's what we did here, and I don't have a big picture. You can see in this photo, now she knows what it looks like with black rails, and she has a black pergola on there. Now I can upsell her. So I took a $25,000 job, and I might have just turned it into a $35,000 job with that black pergola on there. It could increase your profits, right? So it's just a real quick little show on what it looks like. So this literally takes 5-6 minutes to do, based off of what you're telling it to do. So it's not, like I said, the more descriptive you are, the better. Yeah.
So with the descriptions, it's really important to think of all of the things that pertain to this drawing or this rendering. So like if you saw in those first descriptions, it said leave the house the same, leave this the same. Those are important. If you're not telling AI what you actually want it to do, it's not going to do it. It's going to start really jazzing things up that you didn't want it to change.
And then, then last, I don't know if it's kind of hard to show a customer lights, right? They talk about lights, and maybe they don't want to add it because they don't see the value in the lights. They get the money, and it's, it could be $3,500. They don't really want to spend that money because they don't really see the value in it yet, because it's hard to show somebody what deck lights look like, because we're visiting them during the daytime. We're not out there at night. We don't have really a good way of showing them a photo, because most of the pictures I ever take are just when my guys leave, or I go out there and take the photo during the daytime. So I asked ChatGPT, let's darken it, put in the evening time, and add deck lights to this project. So this is what I get. Now this customer can see that that's the deck they have. Look, dog's still in there. And now they can add these lights, right? So this is something that helps with those upsells. Once again, that pergola that they wanted, the lights. So everything's telling a story. So this customer has all the information they need, and they can visually see what they want to make this project everything that they could dream of, right? And then you're more confident when you give them the price tag. So it's like a win-win for everybody. I'm going to bounce back over to a couple slides and have Mike tell you a little bit about how he uses that stuff. Right here, this is something that Mike did. I'm going to have him pass it over and have him explain what he's doing here.
This is just an example of how you can either start with a picture like we talked about, or you can start with a drawing. So you can sketch something out, take a picture of it, and then have that sketch turned into something that is three-dimensional, colorful. You can have it look as realistic as you want in 2 minutes. So you could literally draw a little sketch on your sketch pad and then show them a rendering. It's not going to be perfect, like we said, but that's a much better visualization on the right side than it is on the left side. And in the middle one, they're saying blueprint. So it will give you a really good idea of how you want to build this project real quickly. It's not going to be exact, but it'll tell you, where your beams need to be, where your how many joists you're going to need. So you can actually break down a sketch drawing and give you a pretty good, quick example of what that's going to take to build.
All right, so in this photo here, this is just the deck that I use my CAD program on. And this is just a quick rendering that I wanted to shoot over. It's actually a big deck, but it's a weird shape, right? But we just have this one, sold right now. And I wanted to send this over to my client so they can see something, but this doesn't look like it has a lot of detail on it. I mean, it makes sense to my builders, but it's not something that looks professional. It doesn't represent me as a company. So I put it in chat. I said, make me something that looks more professional, that's a little bit cleaner, that's going to have a cool vibe, because that's my stick with my company. I want something that is black logo on it, blah, 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 right? So I gave it all that detail, and I give the project name, once again, being very descriptive. And then I get this. Now I can send this project over to my homeowners so they can see exactly the size that we're going. If there's a question of, hey, we thought the size was going to be a little bit bigger, or why is that there? I can send it to my install team so they can prepare themselves for the next job. I don't know how many people out here are swinging the hammer versus how many have crews, but I know one of the complaints that my guys give me is that I give them this stuff kind of last minute, maybe the night before or even the day before. And a lot of them always say, man, I wish I knew a couple days more in advance so I could just get my mind put together and process what I'm looking at. Because it sometimes, especially with the decks that I do, they get overwhelmed. And there's a lot of detail, and there's different things going on. And it's like I throw it at them last second because I already understand the process. And I sometimes forget that they haven't had time to process that process, right? So this has been very helpful when I send over work orders and try to make sure they're on the same page. And also homeowners like it, and it looks professional. It makes me look like I'm awesome. But in reality, I just do this, right? So it's like pulling back the curtain. Once again, this is a 5-6 minute thing. As long as you're descriptive, tell them exactly what you want. There you go. Notice my logo. There's little things on these that are weird. Like my logo, the eyes will get screwed up or distorted. That's where I might say ChatGPT. I get mad at something. I've cursed this thing, okay? And I've said, listen, that doesn't look anything like my logo. Will you please fix it and make the eyes look good, right? And then it'll send me back something. I swear the next one sends me back even worse. And I think it does it on purpose. Like, I think it's trolling all of us. But then the next time I ask it, then I get the right one. But it's got to give me one more jab. But you'll have those problems when you do it, but this is a great example. This was just one shot right here. Everything I did here, I didn't go back and make it better. I wanted to show the imperfections that it gives you so you understand. Don't just send it off. Look at this. It makes us, helps us be lazy, but just don't be too lazy, right? Don't just forward it on and go. So
I'm not sure if the free version does it, but I know the paid version. So things like the logo and styles, things like that, you upload them and it stores them and learns them and learns your style. So when all you have to say is, can you do this with my logo? And you don't have to the next time you do it, it's already there. And if the logo doesn't show up correct, you can actually say, hey, ChatGPT, you didn't use my original logo. And it could pull it back.
It memorizes. You just say, hey, memorize, like I'll upload my logo and I say, memorize this logo for future projects. And then it'll shoot back to you and it'll say, great Andrew, I've memorized the logo for future projects. Like, and then now you have that. So if I'm going to make this again, I just say, I'll just go in there and say, make me an updated floor plan of the deck that I can send a client with the project name, give it the project name, and throw my logo on the bottom right-hand corner. Without putting the logo on there now, it just does it for me already. Like it remembers. So it's pretty cool.
That just sparked a thought. The very first time you use ChatGPT is ask it not to use hyphens. That's just a pro tip. No hyphens.
Here's another one from Mike.
Okay, so here's a example of a project where you can, it actually can pull back through and see through things and give you a visualization of what a project can look like with different examples. So the first one is a current deck. If the customer wanted to change the color of the decking or the style of the rails, it's a realistic view from their viewpoint looking out from the deck. And you can see the difference. These two don't look too different on the screen, but you can see the difference in table rail and glass rail.
Yeah, I mean, Mike showed me this one because I had Mike submit a couple things. When I saw this, instantly I was thinking, man, this is a customer, and I deal a lot with this. With that, these rails, they block the view. They paid all this money for this beautiful lake view, and they wanna upgrade the rail to something else. And here like what Mike was showing, or how I would use this now, is I would certainly do this. I'd actually have the customer take the picture for me, send it to me, and then I would just have chat change it to the cable rail, and I'd show them the glass rail. And from there, now the customer's like, oh, I definitely like the glass rail better. Now I know how I can price this stuff quick, right? And then from there, I'd even ask the homeowner to give me the measurements because I don't know. I guess that is kind of lazy, but that's kind of cool, right? I don't have to go out there and measure it now. And I could literally give them a price and sell this job. I never even stepped foot on that job, just based off of them sending me this and showing them the different things. And they have a full understanding of what they're getting because they saw a photo, and I understand what I'm pricing. So it just works out good. So, all right, it's gonna be a weird one, but you're gonna find some value. So I met this client, and there was nothing back there in the house, right? And she had all these ideas of what she wanted to have done. And she goes, I want this multi-level deck. I want it to 45, the same 45s that we have on the morning room. I want to put a hot tub on it. She just had all these different concepts. I wasn't jiving with her as far as like what she wants, and I couldn't have that vision to start the design process. So I took everything she wanted, and I put it in chat. And this is the image that came up, right? And so from here, she goes, yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about. But I want the hot tub recessed. And, and I told her I got to have rails down the other side of the steps. And I would do different things. I'd add skirting, blah, blah, blah. But this got the wheels turning in her head. And this really narrowed it down to where you have somebody that's I don't know how many people here have done this, but like I've met customers and I show them 8 different things. And they're like, nah, that's not quite what I'm thinking. It's not, it's just kind of like you get frustrated at the end of the day with it. And this just, everything she told me, I put in there, and this basically showed me what was in her mind, right? And that was cool. So from there, I actually sold that job after I went back, redesigned it, gave it my own touch. And now I turned that project into a $60,000 deck that we're currently building right now. And I have an inlays going in this from what I designed, all based off of when I asked that person using ChatGPT to give me their vision. So it was an instant sign to contract because it was exactly what she had in her mind, and I was able to bring that to life. So that's a good way of using it. And then this is kind of cool. Mike uses this a lot in certain situations, but I use it for like if I have a contract and I don't have a lot of detail in the contract. I know what I'm building. I know the lingo. And I'm not one of those guys that specifies every screw I'm using. It's just like I'm building this deck with this rail. This is the color fascia. We're using these lights, and then it's not very detailed. And I have a lot of customers that want detailed estimates, so I just copy all that in there and I put it in chat. And I ask chat, hey, give me a more detailed contract for this client to be, because they wanted all those details. And I didn't put an example up here. I probably should have, but just took my word. It worked really good. So, and then another way is like notes. Like if you're jotting down notes and on a project, of a timeline, and you take a photo of that and you tell chat, organize these notes, make a timeline of the notes that I've made. It will shoot all that out to you. It looks very professional. It looks like you spent hours working on this thing and you literally just hit send, right? So take a picture and hit send. So Mike, you want to talk about how you use it?
Hypothetically, somebody leaves you like a bad review on Google.
It happened to him. What do you say?
So somebody that you don't even know left you a fake bad review on Google. How do you respond to that? I had no clue. I kept asking everybody else, and the answer was ChatGPT. I haven't responded. I don't know whose that answer was for, but it's just it can help you communicate when you don't have the words and you can't think of what to say, or at least get you working in the right way of like what's an actual good response to this that's going to get you to the place you need to be.
I've used it actually to answer emails. So I've had people email me something, and either my emotions are getting to me, and maybe the email that they wrote was a little more of, it was confrontational a little bit, and I didn't want to answer it back based off my own emotions, because I mean, at the end of the day, I run a business and I got to make sure that I'm being professional. So that's where chat has helped me out. So instead of me saying like, oh, screw you, buddy, you too, I would say, I'd ask chat, hey, could you write me a professional response, but stay stern about the decisions that we discussed on this email, right? It could have been like the customer said, oh no, you said we were getting lights, but it's not on my paperwork. So I mean, it's kind of a dispute of he said. So instead of me just, putting it down where it's not on there and just being mean, what chat did was it just gave me a really nice professional email to send back to this person. And then the person responds back with, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. It's like I just couldn't have done that myself for whatever the reason was, right? I mean, and that's where that tool is really successful. So. If anybody has any questions, raise your hand if we're talking about one of those things. This is kind of a cool picture because this is a deck that we built, and this is a gorgeous house, all right? And it's a gorgeous deck. I mean, it's not my standard hen house deck, but meaning that like it's just all one color, right? But it looks good, and it was great craftsmanship. Everything looks fantastic. But the thing is that the yard looks a mess. I mean, how many people here have taken a photo of a project and the yard's completely trashed, right? Or like it's ridiculous. And I can't send this photo. I can't use it for marketing. If I wanted to put this in Nadra, for example, and they probably aren't going to like that, but I couldn't submit this. A judge is going to look at this project, right? And they're going to be like, it's nice. The grass isn't nice to look at. So they're just going to pass it on by and something else will come up. So when I go on chat, I say, hey, please, using this exact house, and I didn't say the exact trees, by the way, so you'll see the trees change, but that's why you got to be very descriptive. I said, using this exact house with the finishes and everything, all I want you to do is add nice grass on here. Now, I wanted it to not look like turf. I didn't get what I asked. That's where I have to go back and ask again, but I wanted to show you the example that I got when they did that, and this is what comes up now, right? So now that beautiful deck is beautiful again in terms of like it's not, the grass is not torn up, and now I can use this photo for marketing purposes. I can use it for showing clients what this looks like without it looking like the yard was just a hot mess, right? So this is, I think, a really good tool to use. All right, show of hands, and let's give however many people we can some stuff here. How many people have guys that work for them or people that you ask them, hey, take a picture of the job so I can use it for marketing purposes. And this is the freaking photo you get back in return. All right. All right. Run around. Let's get them some stuff. Everybody should have a dang hand. We got freebies here. Come on. Just 3-4 people. I mean, this is an everyday thing for me. These guys of mine, they put the best decks in the world, and to get them to take a freaking picture it's like pulling teeth. So on this project, we got a drill, we got the box still sitting there, the deck's dirty, the yard's atrocious. This is what they send to me. Rails are all got mud caked on them, whatever. It looks like probably it's like that time of year where it's all muddy. It looks like crap, right? So this isn't what my company represents. I wouldn't want to market this. I mean, I wouldn't hire somebody that showed me a photo of this deck, right? So what I did here is I told it to remove this, remove the power cords, remove the drills, add grass in the background, make it look nice and professional. So now I have this, right? Now that's a deck that I would hire these people. That looks nice. It's a basic wood deck. Don't get me wrong, but just using that photo as the example, now you can tell that these guys take pride in their work. They did a good job, and I didn't have to go back out to this job site to do this photo shoot. I just used what they gave me and the tools that I know that will make it work to come up with this as a concept. So, have you used this before?
I haven't used it that way yet. That's impressive. It's like if you don't have the tool, the programs to do these sort of things now.
So other ways that we're using AI right now, let's say you're starting out or you want to get a new logo, and you can have chat and create you a new logo. It can create you different kind of shirts. We're going to show you designs. It'll just help with any type of marketing that you're struggling with. Once again, maybe there's something you didn't think of. AI definitely kind of brings that to use. Mike can go over this right here.
So here's just some examples of if you wanted to do something that was different and you were struggling with the design of it or the looks of it. And first thing I want to mention is we did this very raw. You'll see there's a lot of misspellings and things like that it will do on your projects, your photos. But this is not the end all design that we're looking for. This is to get your ideas rolling, different designs, different looks. So you can take a picture of one of your shirts, which there was a shirt that we took a picture of, and I said, "Can you show me 4 different designs of, similar to this shirt but that are new?" And so you can just see that in, again, 2 minutes or whatever it took to load the photo. Now you have all these different ideas that could be on your T-shirts.
So it's the same concept as that homeowner. Like the homeowner don't know. The homeowner is having a hard time explaining what they want. That's why I take that photo, and that's how I was able to show that lady in that couple slides ago. I was able to be like,